Hey, this is the Hawk. This is a quick update on the coronavirus and what is going on around the world. Italy is basically in quarantine. Half the country is under lockdown. We led to believe that there are 20,000 US troops just arrived in Europe, almost a battle group, plus the 10,000 that are already there is 30,000. There's supposed to be some European exercise. There's troop movements in Belgium, and they are talking about approximately another 7,000 European troops joining the Americans. It appears none of them have masks on, or gas masks, or face masks. A strange development. Adding to this, a Canadian company has developed a vaccine in 20 days. Normally, the vaccines are based on an egg-based vaccines. They have come up with a plant-based vaccine that they can produce 1 million vaccines a week. How true this is, it's being verified by a few people, but we'll wait and hold judgment until further notice. The Russia-Saudi oil crisis has created a massive rift in the world's economy. Oil dropped to $27 last week. That has slowly climbed to approximately $34, but that's not good enough, as oil production needs to be on $30 to maintain production at levels that it should be. Now, Russia, for whatever reason, decided to have a rift with the Arabs, mainly the Saudis, with OPEC, trying to control that situation. The Russian economy cannot sustain such a loss. It will devastate their economy, and it has already. They're already affected by it. Having said that, you all know I have a campaign to bring sanctions against South Africa to stop what is happening in South Africa. Now, they have stated that they have 100 cases of coronavirus, but that's statistics from the government. It's more like 700 cases and growing every day. They were given 8 million rand 3 days ago by the US government's US aid program, USAA. And I do not believe that they are equipped to handle what is coming. And if this virus gets into the townships, most of the people there are not educated enough to understand the dangers of this virus. People tend to blow this off as just flu. It is far more dangerous than flu. I think the whole situation has been blown completely out of proportion, and fear-mongering by the media again has caused a massive panic. Having said that, President Trump has put a total ban on all flights to Europe and has now banned Ireland and UK as of Monday. How people will get from Europe to America will be a new idea. I know Russia has put a complete ban on Iran, Italy, and Europe to a point. Iran's cases are pretty bad, so is Italy. And because there are no borders through the EU, the transfer of this disease or this virus will not be able to be controlled. Now, the South African government was given 8 million rand, not dollars, 2 days ago, and I can guarantee you they will look the other way and squander the money. And if this virus takes place and gets into these townships where people are living on top of each other in squalor, where hygiene is not the case, with real running water or sanitary areas, this virus will spread. And within a very short term, I predict 30% of the population will die. Hopefully not. Having said that, I want to thank everybody for signing the petition. We are close to 9,000 signatures in 2 weeks, but we need to be at 90,000 signatures, not 9,000. The US citizens need to realize, and I can show you text messages, Facebook messages, Twitter messages where the black population in South Africa are asking for the murder of whites. They want the complete annihilation of whites in South Africa. The United States taxpayer should not be aiding and abetting a murderous government in South Africa. Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, is in complete denial to the international communities that there is nothing going on in the farms and to farmers in South Africa. This is a categorical lie, and I'm not going to repeat it over and over again, but one farmer is murdered every week, and they are not just murdered, they are tortured for hours and hours, and nothing is taken. This is not crime. This is deliberate murder. This is deliberate political, and they're doing exactly what they did in Zimbabwe. Having said that, Zimbabwe is now giving the land back to the whites that were persecuted to farm again, to increase their economy, because they realized they made a mistake. Julius Malema has now been banned from 2 neighboring African countries and been told if he comes there, he will be arrested and deported. The rest of Africa is starting to realize who he is, what he is, and what he's about. He is nothing but a terrorist. He is just what they were in the Second World War. Another Hitler, another Robert Mugabe, another Mussolini, another Joseph Mendel. These people, Stalin, another one. These people come to power with the promises of freedom and free and what we will do for you in the masses and the hysteria. And all they do are murderers, rapists, and destroyers of countries. History repeats itself. The ANC came to power 26 years ago and have literally destroyed a country that has been built up over 350 years. They destroyed it in 26 years. This is not a black thing. This is not a white thing. This is a logical thing. This is a thing people need to look at, not because I'm a white man or why I'm talking. I'm talking about the misery of the people of South Africa. Yes, over 70,000 white people have been murdered since 1994, but so have black people in the thousands. 500,000 people have died since 1994 in a government that is corrupt, a police force that is corrupt, and politicians who are stuffing their money in their pockets and not building schools, roads, clinics, and providing for investment in safe environments for a country that should have electricity 24/7. Because Ramaphosa and his son-in-laws got involved with Eskom, they have been punching money into it from not only the taxpayers' money, foreign investment money, but now they're taking the pensions to stuff it in there to steal. The railways have collapsed, the post offices have collapsed, the airports collapsed, the roads have collapsed. Every single municipality in the country has collapsed because of corruption. Airports collapsed, the roads have collapsed. Every single municipality in the country has collapsed because of corruption, and the rule of law is absolutely null and void. If you want to get out of jail, just bribe the judge. Every lawyer in the country knows it, and nobody wants to talk about it. How do you give parole to a person that has just raped an entire family, murdered them, and you give them parole on a 2,000 Rand bail? 2,000 Rand, $200, and you allow them to go for rape and murder? The fingerprint department of South Africa has collapsed. The DNA department of South Africa has collapsed. And it's easy because it's easy to just cover up everything. And when they get to court, they can't find the evidence. Money laundering, where they take children and chop their hands off because the parents can't pay them. There's endless cases over and over. It's a disgrace. I will put the link in for the petition, but we really need the United States citizens and the Senate and every senator and representative in the United States, irrespective of your party or your affiliation, all Christians in the United States, to sign this petition to stop all US aid and trade going to South Africa. We are actually aiding and abetting in a government that has persecuted the minorities in the country, not only whites, Indians and colored people in the Khoisan, and many of the tribal leaders are being persecuted by this government. History will prove that the black population in South Africa arrived in South Africa in the 1800s. In the late 1800s. Their claim to South Africa is null and void. They came from the north, as did the whites coming from the south. The real owners of this land are the Khoisan. Now, Mandela's excuse is that they're black people. No, they're not. They are the legitimate owners of that country, and they do not want what is being forced on them. As for Article 25 of the South African government, it's nothing more than a communist plot to steal. The international communities, the Geneva Convention, the international law states, and the AGOA agreement from the United States states you cannot mess with property rights. So what did they do? They changed the constitution to suit their agenda. That's like moving the goalpost to get a goal. It is nothing but human rights violations. Every single person in South Africa, irrespective of color, will lose their rights to property. Every bank in the country will lose every single title they ever loaned money for. No government, no investor, no person will ever invest in that country ever again if this government stays in power. As for the coronavirus, we have just given a government 8 million rand, which they will squander on stupid ideas and do nothing, because this government is lazy, inept, uneducated, and not ready for what is coming. If true, and the Canadians have found a vaccine for this virus, praise the Lord, because millions of people are going to die. In South Africa, if this virus gets into the townships, and it will, I predict 30% of that population will die. Not only blacks, but every single race in that country will be affected by this virus. My suggestion to everybody is to wash your hands, gargle with salt water, because it will kill anything in your mouth. And most of the time, you're putting the virus in your mouth with your hands. Wash your hands constantly. Wear gloves wherever you can so you don't touch door handles. And wherever you go, make sure you're constantly washing your hands and carry bottles of salt water with you. It will help you. I don't know what is going on with the militaries in Europe. There was a scheduled military exercise. I find it strange. As of Monday, United Kingdom and Ireland will be also on the banned list for flights to the United States for the next 30 days. And this may extend. I'm unsure about flights directly from South Africa, but if this virus starts to come up more prevalently, they will be banned as well. The hype regarding this virus is gone. It's become ridiculous. We witnessed in Walmart today people punching each other over toilet paper and disinfectant, even dishwashing liquid. To the South African government and Julius Malema, who is part of the South African government and the Communist Party, your days are numbered. You are an inept, communist, evil regime, far worse than the Nationalist Party ever was. You've allowed 500,000 of your people to die, be murdered. You have rampant crime. You have 50% unemployment. And your people are dying. You're allowing your women to be raped, from very old ladies in their 90s to 2-year-old babies. You have witch doctors telling black men that they can get rid of AIDS by raping virgins. And this has been going on for 30 years. And still, you have not stopped this nonsense. How do you face yourselves in the mirror? Ramaphosa promised last year that he would put a stop to these rapes and has done nothing. It's all just words. Actions speak louder than words. To all the people in South Africa, I don't care what color you are, your future is not in the hands of these politicians. Your future is in your hands. All these politicians that have stolen money, have $1 million houses, has Mercedes Benzes, wears Armani suits and shoes, and fancy hats like Sele. When the time comes, they'll all be arrested, and all that money will be assets will be taken away from them, and they will go to jail and break rocks. And that money will go to the people of South Africa. 16 billion rand was wasted on Eskom not 5 years ago. It could have given every single person in South Africa 1 million rand. Does that tell you something? And you don't have electricity. And now they're taking the Goko's money from the pensions. People have worked all their lives to save that money so that they can go home when they're old, when they become Gokos and the old people, grandmas. And now they're stealing that money too, because they've spent all the rest on themselves, not you. When this virus hits the townships, I pray for all of you, because if you don't heed what I'm saying, many of you are going to die, sadly. I'm not the Mlungu here crying about the white people. I'm the Mlungu that's crying about my people, black and white, who are heading for Zimbabwe because of these evil politicians that are not looking after you. They are not providing the nurses and the doctors and the hospitals and the roads and the schools and the investments. And instead of talking about racism, which is an excuse for a politician because he's failing you, then you will understand I'm an African and cry the beloved country. Can you remember when the old people used to sing? Do you hear the singing anymore? Just crying, just hatred, just evil, just Tsotsis everywhere. And they don't care. They rape your children, they rape your wives, they kill your husbands, they steal your money, they steal your cars, and they shoot you in the street. And you look the other way. Why? To the Cape Colored people, why are you killing yourselves? To all the gangsters, wat doen julle? Waarom? Julle skiet kinders. Waarom? Vir drugs. Jy skiet die kinders. Jy skiet vroumense, ou mense, jou vriende. Vir wat? En dan die swart mense kom en hulle brand julle huise. Julle moet saam staan en julle plekke regmaak. En moenie vir daai drugs verkoop nie. Dis kak. Waarom doen jy dit? Dis julle mense. Vir wat doen jy dit? Gaan na die dominee toe. Gaan vra vir vergifnis. En moenie dit doen nie. Maak jou strate skoon. Help julle skole. Maar hierdie is nie reg nie. Hierdie is nie reg nie. To all the black people in South Africa, Kanjani, wenzani wena? The Mlungus that are born there are not your enemies. Look at the Mlungus outside that are feeding your politicians money to crook you, to lie to you, feed you with racism, so that you look at the wrong people. Malema didn't come there with easy money. He came there with British money. Ramaphosa came there with Rupert's money and Harry Oppenheimer's money, so they can lie to you. And now, after 25 years, 26 years, they have failed you all. And now they're blaming the same white people that were born there that also didn't know what was going on with apartheid. How do I know? Because I was one of them. In those days, there were no internet. The newspapers were controlled by the government. The phone was controlled by the government. The TV was controlled. We didn't even have TV then. Just the radio. They fed us the lie just like this government's feeding you the lie. And where do you think apartheid came from? Not from the Buddha. It came from the British, the same British that are feeding Malema, the same British that's feeding Ramaphosa. Why do you think Prince Harry was there with Meghan Markle? Why do you think Soros is there right now? Why do you think all these people like Oprah Winfrey and all these other people, they're all there to crook you all, to feed you racism, so that you all fight each other while they steal your country? This is why you have no hospitals, no roads, no clinics, no teachers, no doctors. It is time for change. It's time to get rid of the ANC, arrest them all, put them in jail, and take what they have because they took it from you. This land reform will just make you hungry because the ANC has 75% of the land in South Africa. They're lying to you, and they will keep lying to you because you think you're going to get something for free. When a man buys something, he has to go to the bank, borrow money, they take the title. And when you pay the bank off, they give you the title back. So when you go to take the land, do you think you will own it? No. The bank will still own it. The government think they can take it, and the banks will leave, and the government will have no money. And these same Tutsis will run to the houses in Dubai and in America and Europe and the Seychelles and Mauritius, where they hide their money, your money. These are all Tutsis, and Malema is the biggest one of all. Him and his brother Ramaphosa. And who do you think trained Malema? Robert Mugabe. Malema was his little boy. And when Robert Mugabe died, he praised Robert Mugabe. But when he was in the Oxford telling everybody that all the countries fail because of leaders, he never mentioned Robert Mugabe, the same person that killed his own people. Sad. So my advice to you about coronavirus before I go, wash your hands and carry a bottle of salt water in your pocket. Pour raw salt into a bottle of water, shake it up, and whenever you can, wash your hands and gargle with the salt water. This way you will kill all the germs in your mouth, and anything you touch and you put to your mouth, it'll kill it. It may save your lives. If you've got hydrogen peroxide, if you've got a cut, pour it on there. It'll kill the germs. I'm going to put the petition in this description when this video is over. Please share it with every citizen of the United States, every senator and representative, all their staff if you have them, all your friends in Europe, all your friends in Africa. because all I can tell you is we are going to stop this government one way or another. And I'm not the only one. Radio station after radio station is now reporting on Jason Bartlett walking. That story is being spread over and over through Twitter. Everywhere, people are listening, people are watching, people are now sick of it. They've heard the story. They're starting to listen. America's slow to wake up, but when it does, God help you all. The ANC, you got to realize this is not the 1800s. This is not the 1960s. This is the 21st century. And the internet is going to break you because information flows faster than you can stop it. And it bleeds everywhere. And I'm going to bleed you all. Believe me, I'm coming. And I said I was coming. And slowly but surely, we're going to break you. And we're going to make a better South Africa. The one that was promised in 1994. Not this. The people of South Africa, black and white, deserve better. No more. This is The Hawk. Please subscribe to my channel. Share. Ask your friends to share. This is not about money. This is about the message. The message is more important than anything else. When this is all over, I will disappear into the shadows where I came from. But I cannot stand by and watch 2-year-olds be raped in the name of racism. I cannot stand by and allow Americans, citizens, money pay for murderers. I cannot stand by when murders are allowed to go after they've tortured grandmothers, raped little girls, hijacked and shot people, called for the death of people, including the United States citizens. When they demonstrated outside the United States Embassy and called for the one bullet, one American. Why are we giving them money? No more. No more. No more corruption. It is pointless giving money to a government. And according to Lena Marks, 9.4 billion. That is an incredible amount of money for a government that can't build roads, hospitals, or clinics. No more. This is The Hawk. Subscribe to my channel. Make sure you still subscribed. Please share this with everybody. Tell your friends. This is important. And please ask them to sign this petition. We cannot aid and abet a government that is allowing people to murder minorities because of the color of their skin. I don't care who you are. Racism is racism. And we're all humans. Because there's only one race on earth, and that's the human race. And I'm tired of hearing the story that Africa is black. Please go get a geography book and look at the real color of Africa. It's land. It's a continent. It's not a color. And for your information, 50% of Africa is Arabs, not black. 40% is black. And the rest are mixed races of white and Asian. This rhetoric that Africa is black is a lie bred by people who do not and are not educated enough to understand. They're being lied to by politicians. Africa is a continent and not a color. And if you all believe in human rights, no race on this earth deserves to be discriminated against. I don't care who you are or what you say about history. It is wrong. Because two wrongs do not make a right. Apartheid was wrong, and this is wrong. Utterly, utterly wrong. There is no justification to rape a 2-year-old child because of the color of their skin. I'm sorry. This is The Hawk. Please subscribe. Please share. I'm out of here. Be safe out there. And don't forget, carry a bottle of salt water with you and wash your hands. And stay safe.